Pedagogical Evaluation of Teaching and Learning by Jacob Heron, Sarah Kudris, and Hina Shabazz. Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend this meeting and group of presentations. Our group has opted to present our PBL on the K through 12 sector, specifically on the area of communication between students and teachers. One of our group members, Jake, has taken the bulk of his high school education through online learning, and our problem is built around his issues that he and his peers faced on a daily basis in school. Our presentation will follow standard format of problem identification, solutions for both the learner and teacher, and finally ways to motivate and encourage the participants towards their goals in education. As was previously mentioned, Jake participated in an online high school that was organized as a way for students of different needs. For many students at the Virtual Learning Center, the school provided them with a non-traditional learning format, which allowed them to pursue things such as sports, travel, work, and any number of other things. In the interest of a specific example, Jake had a class with a student who participated in the 2014 Sochi Olympics, where she won the gold medal for Canada. This school has produced students such as the above who were able to achieve things because of the unique opportunities provided. All things considered, the school was a great place with tremendous opportunities for the students, but obviously, as with any school, it had its faults. Our problem was determined, as was mentioned previously, through experience in online learning. We found through our experience that one of the most noticeable and possibly detrimental issues is communication. Students all have different learning styles, and some thrive on individuality, but others need the communication among peers and instructors for learning. The main issue that we drilled into was communication, specifically with the teacher of the course. In a brick-and-mortar institution, students know that they can ask questions of the teacher any day of the week because of class times as well as being able to go to their office. In online, that is usually not an option. Students of online learning must often wait multiple days for email and other forms of communication to be responded to. We thought that this was quite unacceptable and must be corrected. In our study of problem, we have found certain concepts of ideas that we feel, when properly implemented, could greatly mitigate these issues. We specifically looked into two areas. Firstly, we looked at solutions to limit the communication barriers between students and teachers. We then looked into motivators to increase student involvement in an effort to bring students together. These will be discussed in greater detail in the following slides. It is time to take an initiative to kickstart our education system. Internet is taking over the world, and it is revolutionizing the way of communication. This is the time to escalate our knowledge by expanding our classroom size through online learning. Internet gives us a platform to communicate with the world with just one click of a button. It is part of our everyday life and is now the time to review our strategies and implement new teaching methods. Teachers need to assess their old teaching methods and curriculum to develop new ideas. That gives students an opportunity to actively participate and learn through their environment globally. Schools have progressed from a contained computer class into a totally new learning tool that can change our concepts, research material, assessment progress. Many different types of applications and software are available online that can help students to learn better and help teachers to assess the student ability. For example, Geniverse is an interactive software that helps students learn genetics by breeding and studying virtual dragons. Teachers can teach the definition of chromosome, and students will just know the definition. Instead, by using interactive software, they can explore, experiment, and learn through hands-on experience. Teachers can evaluate the student by looking at the progress and finding the results of an experiment. Teachers need to upgrade their knowledge and skills in order to prepare their students for their future. Our teachers need to be officially prepared to teach with new technology and leave behind their guided instructions and scripted curriculum. It is fact that teaching quality and proper school leadership are the important factors in raising student achievement. As time passes, and with new technology advancement that includes instructional methods, laws, and procedures change, teachers confront great challenges. Professional development is mandatory for teachers to prepare students for the real world. Teachers as adults play an important part in adult learning. If we compare traditional classrooms where students spend most of their time with face-to-face instructions and big groups of people in classrooms to have discussions, whereas in online learning environments the focus is more towards individual learning. Small personalized groups where students can have higher quality of interactions with adults. Students can work much more independently if teachers provide them with detailed differentiations and feedback in tech-enabled environment. Teachers need to create a plan that pertains to student individual strengths and weaknesses. These plans will be composed of learners' previous knowledge and interests. Problem-based learning will be the main focus for learners and teachers need to change their role and work as a mentor and provide learning materials that help students for their high-quality learning. Motivation has been identified as a critical element that affects learning. Generally, students are motivated by external factors, meaning grades, evaluations, or negative opinions people may have for them. Students can also be self-motivated by elements such as self-gratification, competency, interest, or curiosity. Based on Decky and Ryan's model of self-determination, motivation can be categorized into two main areas: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Extrinsically motivated students are reward-based students seeking the grades or recognition reward, group or class participation marks. Intrinsically motivated students are self-motivated and seek the fulfillment of competency or interests. Understanding what motivates students aids in understanding of how to target their learning objectives. In an online environment, teachers or faculty prompt student collaboration through the use of discussion boards, interactive group work, and class discussions. Challenges in an online environment can be the lack of face-to-face interaction, attendance, and instructor-student communication barriers. Creating an environment where students have the ability to communicate with faculty on an as-needed basis can significantly enable the effectiveness of online environment, with a strong encouragement to build learning outcomes. Motivational barriers can range from student to student and class to class, but it is important to have the student and instructor learning outcomes in line with one another. If an instructor has created an environment that requires class discussion and group work, the student is motivationally required to meet those learning outcomes in exchange for class participation grades or marks. Attendance in an online environment can be a motivational requirement from the instructor, but a student must be either extrinsically motivated or intrinsically motivated to attend. With technology growing rapidly in the last several years, the increase of online students has increased substantially. E-learning allows faculty to monitor and quantify attendance and class participation in lieu of face-to-face settings. As institutions have begun the incorporation of student attendance policies, there is a student responsibility to share in the learning collaboration. Attendance in an online environment is an important variable in measuring a student's academic performance, and statistically, there is a significant relationship between a student achievement and student attendance. A study conducted by Snell and Meckes identifies that students with an attendance rate of 95% were significantly more likely to earn a grade of an A or B, whereas absenteeism showed substantial negative impacts on student achievement. Solutions for improving 0 to K e-learning curriculum. Implement teaching methods and strategies to improve learning outcomes by identifying student-teacher barriers and implementing effective e-learning solutions. Implementing interactive stimuli into course curriculum and expanding classroom for better communication with a focus of individual learning needs. For motivation, using extrinsic and intrinsic motivators to encourage and engage student participation and motivation through class discussions, small group work, and communication access to faculty as needed.